my God. Okay. I just came from the gym. There's not even lotion on my face. So please. Okay. My dog wants to say hi to y'all. So I've been listening to you, been listening to share like literally daily, right? Did all of the things. Before I even get started, like one thing I had to work on is my own emotions. Like I know that I have to like figure that out. I've been in therapy, I'm divorced, whatever. So I live in the Washington, D.C. area. Met this guy. He lives an hour away from me in Baltimore. He's definitely in the 1%. We're both Nigerian. He comes out the gate like talking about his expectations. And he asked me, what do I want? Like he tells me he has a list. He asked me, what do I want? And I just said an unlimited Amex. Like I felt like that was just, I can cover everything else, right? So he was like, okay, fine.
You told him when he set his expectations, you just said flat out unlimited Amex to him.
Yes, because his vibe is like he really wants a support, like a wife, kind of like all the things, like a really feminine, submissive woman, right? He's very clear about what he wants. He's divorced as well. So he was just telling me what he wants, like straight up. He wants like two more kids, just like literally
So he
listing
wants
things.
two more kids. He wants two more. So he already has children.
Yes, he does have kids. So he's not that much older than me though. And like I feel like usually hypergamous relationships work with people who are a lot much older than you. He's 6 years older than me. So I didn't know if the age gap was like big enough, but he was really into me, so I went with that. We went on several dates. The first date, he came to me. Again, we live an hour away. The second date, I agreed to go to him. The third date, he was supposed to come to me, but something happened. He was just getting off a plane. I was just like, oh my God, I could come to you. I shouldn't have done that. I went to him. Fourth date, he's like, okay. He sends me the link for the place. It's beautiful. I look at the address. It's where he's at. And I was like, I can't come to where you are. Like, he's like, why not? I was like, I have a nail in my tire. The next day, he replaces, he like tells me to go to the spot over the phone, pays for 4 brand new tires, right? So I'm like, okay, perfect. I could come to you. That's fine, right? That night, he asked me to be his girlfriend. Elated. I'm like, everything I've been doing is perfect. Like, I love it. I'm so happy. Like, I feel comfortable in the idea of having, not, I don't want to say transactional relationship. Like, I was kind of judging myself at a time for like wanting this hypergamous relationship and not wanting to like fall in love and like Disney story and all that kind of stuff. I was judging myself, but I think I'm more comfortable in like knowing what the expectations are, knowing what you're going to give, what I'm going to give, right? So as he's asking me to be his girlfriend, he's again listing out his expectations. It's like Ashley, he's like, you have to stay in the gym, you have to learn how to cook my traditional food because we're both Nigerian, and other things. I'm like, okay, cool, cool. He asked me again, what do I want?
What are the other things? Just go down the list. Stay
Damn,
in
I
the
don't
gym, be fit.
remember. I don't remember everything because they were kind of basic, honestly. They weren't like crazy, but the only two things that stood out was like my weight or like staying in the gym, his favorite soup, and don't be clingy. Sometimes he comes back from work, he just wants his own space. Like he literally said that. He was just like, you don't have to be all in my face. Go watch Netflix, go shopping, do whatever you want. Like, that's what he said. And I'm like, okay, bet. So he's leading with money, okay? He's always talking about money, right? Awesome. So that night, like, I hadn't slept with him, like, even with the tires and everything, I hadn't slept with him until he asked me to be his girlfriend. I sleep with him.
Mm, mm,
I,
mm, mm.
I, I,
Oh, so that's the oldest trick in the book, honey. The
oh,
oldest trick. He get you, gotcha. He
I
get you,
think
gotcha.
see, this is what I feel. Okay. All right. I think I already know what you're about to say. But so the next day, like he asked me to work from home from his place, which I love because he has like a beautiful like penthouse, like overlooking the harbor. It's gorgeous. Like who doesn't want to work from there? That day too, he loves my dog. My dog loves him. My dog loves the place. It was great. Like he let the dog sleep in the bed and everything. It was fine. Which I thought he was not gonna like that because my dog sleeps with me, but it was fine. So as like I have my own business. So I'm on calls in the morning. He came from the gym. I heard him come and leave. He texted me that he left. And I was going to say to him, like, can you leave the card on the table in case I want to go out and get lunch or something like that?
Okay, so just so we're clear about where we are with the story, you go to his house the night he decides to make it official. You're his girlfriend. You finally cross that line. Y'all have sex. Y'all are intimate. The next morning you wake up. He's on a call. You're in the gym. You got to stay fit. You come back upstairs. He's about to head out. So you're like, hey, babes. You know, you can call him babes now because you guys are together. Can you leave the card on the table? This is where we are in the story.
This is where we are, but except for it's switched. I'm already on the call. I wanted to say to him to leave the card on the table, but I was on a call. So like, he just texted me that he was leaving because he didn't want to like come into the camera where I was at. So he just texted me, have a good day, whatever. And so I didn't get a chance to ask him for anything. Ashley, this man is kind of intimidating to me, okay? He has like a very fancy house, not to sound like ratchet or anything, but you know how you pull out the trash can and it has like either trash or recycling? He has like four different compartments. So I don't, and also, I mean, I'm not like a cleaner or whatever. Like, I'm not, he has a chef, he has a maid, he has like a designer, he has like all of the things. So I don't really know exactly where I fit in to this. And we'll just put a pin in that. But I
Hold
didn't
on.
really,
Before you go further, it sounds like you're saying you don't feel like you're enough for him. That's what that sounds like to me, but we can keep going before we go back to that.
maybe
Go ahead.
that I'm not gonna throw that out. Like I kind of talked to my therapist about this a little bit too, and they feel like I don't think I deserve. I feel like I don't deserve this, which I don't think is inaccurate as well. I think I just did all the things. I usually look cuter than this, I know, but like, I feel like whatever. So I'm just in his house, kind of feeling nervous, like nervous. I think like he makes me nervous. He's very intimidating. He's like a big boss, whatever. He calls me. I'm actually in therapy and he's just like, oh, what's up? How was your day? And I was like, oh, I'm about to leave. He was like, oh, I wanted you to stay. And then I was like, well, I haven't showered yet. He's like, ew. And we're like joking around. So I hang up the phone. And then after therapy, I decide maybe I shouldn't leave because he said he wanted me to stay. Right. So I eat my leftovers from dinner the night before and take a shower and like I'm just watching Netflix. He comes in like hesitantly to the room and like is pissed or something like that. And I'm just like, okay, maybe he had like a bad day at work. I'm not going to get in my head about it because I have anxiety. I'm just like, okay, let me just not even think too much about it. He goes downstairs. He's like, oh, I didn't know you were going to be here, stuff like that. And I was just like, oh, like, I thought, I mean, I don't remember what I said, to be honest. He's like, well, I have like jerk chicken downstairs. So he goes down. I'm like, I'm not, naturally, I want to go down and be like, how was your day? Da, da, da. But I didn't. I just stayed in the room because he was saying that he doesn't like all of that after work. So he comes back upstairs, gets in the bed, falls asleep like immediately, right?
So, so not even acknowledging like, hey, babe, come cuddle next to me. Like he doesn't grab you, he doesn't touch
No,
you.
no, we do cuddle. We cuddle, but he like, I go over to him and cuddle with him.
Okay, but
And
he doesn't. No, no, no. So I'm asking. There's a reason I'm asking this. So he gets in the bed, almost turns his back to you, and you're
no,
laying there, or
no, no.
he. Okay, go ahead.
It was fine. It was normal. It was
Okay,
normal.
it was normal. Okay.
But he falls asleep though quite quick. He asked me like if I was still watching the thing. He changes the channel and falls asleep. And then in the morning, like in the middle of the night, we like huddle. He pulls me, stuff like that. But he doesn't like initiate sex with me or anything like that. In the morning, it's like he woke up, like he opened his eyes and put his feet on the floor in like the same motion. And then I was kind of in and out of sleep, thinking maybe he went to the bathroom, but he just never comes back. And I was just like, okay. So I texted him.
Comes back. He just. So he got up out the bed at his usual time because it sounds like he has a routine.
Yeah,
He got up, got himself together, and walks out his house and just leaves you in the bed. Doesn't say anything to you.
nothing, nothing. So I feel like I was asleep though. He thought I was asleep. So, and I kind of was in and out of sleep. And so I texted him, are you at the gym? Like I packed up all my stuff ready to go. Cause I was like, maybe I'm like annoying him or something like that. So like being here for too long, I don't know. So I was just like, let me just get my shit. So I texted him, hey, I'm leaving. And then he was kind of upset that I was leaving without saying goodbye to him or whatever. But it all was cool still, right? So yeah, I'm also because he was like, "Oh my god, you were snoring so much." He sent me like a gif of like whatever this ugly snoring person, and I was like, "Who took a picture of you sleeping?" It was funny. We were just joking around. What?
I don't. He seems like a very particular guy. Like for him to joke about the bath thing, for him to joke about the snoring thing, it sounds like he likes his woman like he only wants to see a woman in this cookie cutter form. I
Mm.
could be wrong, but he doesn't want to see that too soon. It's a lot of things I want to say, but I'll let you keep going.
And so basically, I was very dumb, very, very, very dumb. And I thought everything was cool. And he had already sent me like a card to use for something else. And so I asked him if I could use it for another thing. And like the messaging was just like, after that was just sparse. And then finally the next day he like was like he sent me a very long message about how um things were kind of like how he didn't like what things looked like when he got home. He like I didn't tell him that I was still there. And that asking for to use his card was very selfish. Um and that he doesn't think it's going to work. And I got really upset, like very upset. And I was like, I hope nobody treats their daughters like this. You had sex with me. You got what you wanted. And now you're just making up shit. Like literally, like I popped off. And I regret having done that. He was still going back and forth with me a little bit, trying to say like he doesn't need to, you know, manipulate women for sex. Like women are all, which is true. It's true. But I was just mad and I was just saying shit. So my question is, girl, I apologize because my therapist is male. And so my therapist was like, girl, you're tripping. So I was just like, telling him stuff. He was like, well, what would it feel like to, tell him? So I like sent him an apology text. Like, I'm sorry for saying all of that. I should have never brought up his daughters ever, ever. And like, whatever. So I, I sent that, but I didn't hear from him. And so I'm wondering if I should like call him or if I should just drop it.
You should drop it.
Okay.
It's time to move on, and you could take it like as a learning experience. I'm
Mhm.
not gonna say a learning lesson, but a learning experience. And a man like that, I think men who are wealthy, men who have a lot of money, are very particular. I'm not gonna say all, but I'm gonna say most. Some of them, I'm not gonna say all of them, may want you to be up before they get up. So he may want you to get out the bed before he gets out the bed, done up, hair done, worked out, completed, breakfast on the stove to perfection. He doesn't want to see you comfortable in the first 6 days.
Mhm.
What I also think changed was as soon as you gave it up, and I'm not going to say the word, but I think when men have segg, they have something called clarity. I'm not going to say the other two words. And sometimes I think for them after that situation, they realize, is this person who I really want to be with? Not saying you're an ugly girl, not saying you're a bad person, but maybe he just got a sense like, I don't know if this is the person for me.
Mhm.
And I think it's important to get a man emotionally attached first
Mhm.
before you make a physical connection.
Mhm.
I think that's very important. I'm not saying it always lasts when you have an emotional connection, but I would want him to be hooked emotionally to me before he has my body, because he can have any woman if he has as much money as you says he does. If he was able to pay for all four of your tires, fly you out to here, leave the car there, leave you in his house, have a penthouse, there's probably 20 other girls on reserve
Mhm.
while you were laying down, while he was wanted to be. So he says she showed up to the date. I'm just saying this particular guy who you're talking about. You came together pristine. Now you in the house eating popcorn, Netflix, hair up in a bun, and he don't want to see that. He doesn't want to see that.
Yeah.
I hate to say it,
I never
but
thought about that.
he want to see you done up. He had a long day. He want to see pretty to perfection, a little Barbie doll.
Mhm.
Oh, hey, baby, how are you? Hello. I know that's not for everyone. I'm not saying you have to change for a man. I'm not saying you have to be that for a man. But if you want to date a certain type of man who has a certain type of status, who is a one percenter in the world, then honey, that's what comes with the territory. And from what it sounds like, he don't want you to snore in front of him. He don't want you to what? Fart in front of him. He don't want you to look tired, smelly, and not bathe in front of him. He's very particular. He wants you to be like a little Barbie doll. You got too comfortable too quickly for him.
Mm.
And he had that clarity right after the segg. As soon as things, again, PN clarity. As soon as men have segg, they come to the realization. The thrill is there because they haven't done anything with you yet. And that's why you were so much more confident before you guys did anything, because you still had the power. You had the cookie. You didn't give him anything. So you still was like, I'm that girl. He ain't going nowhere. As soon as you gave it up, it's almost like you felt like you gave your power away.
Yeah.
I know not all women feel like this, but if you know you're not that girl, and I know you said you've been watching the videos, you gotta kind of play the game with, with the small. You gotta play the game, not with the 1%. You can't
No,
jump
but
from
so this
what
isn't, this is like,
go
I
ahead.
normally date 1% white guys, usually. This is the first time I ever dated a black man who's in
Okay.
1%. And I feel like it's different.
Okay, I will say there's a different in culture, right? Or different in the way people are raised, but I think men are men, right? I think
Mhm.
men are men. They're black and white. Women, we have gray areas.
Yeah.
Okay, I think the game is the same, but the only thing that changes is the players. That's what I feel. All right? And I don't want you to stress yourself out about it. I think in this situation, to get your power back, when he said, "Oh, I don't think this is for me," the best thing you could have did was said nothing, packed up your bag, and walked out. C'est la vie.
Mm. Okay. Well, thank you so much for answering that question because I've been thinking about that for a long time. Like, should I call him or should I just let it go? So,
It's completely up to you, Patience. I mean, I feel like after the whole, you went off on him. It's like,
yeah.
and you said you were a feminine woman, and to him, feminine means you don't curse. You don't look, your voice doesn't go above this octane right here. Hold on.
Yeah.
And you went up here. He said,
Yeah.
"Oh no."
Yeah. You know what? Like I said, I really do need to work on controlling my emotions. I feel like when he broke up with me, then it was just like I can say whatever because it's over. So, I can say what my feelings are. But I kind of regret doing that. And because somebody in the comments said she fumbled back, and I do feel like that. I feel like it's my fault and like I can salvage it, but I'm feeling like that's probably not true.
You can. I mean, if you want, it's up to you, Patience. But I say if you could get one, you can get another. Will it be easy to find? One percenters I think are a needle in a haystack. But I think if you've done it once, you can do it again. But the choice is yours. You get to decide what you want to do with your life.
Yeah.
If you want to call him, if you don't want to call him. I'm not here to make that choice for you.
Talk to everyone, which is exactly why I just wanted to get outside of my head and get someone else's perspective. Thank you so much for listening to my whole story. That was a lot.
Patience. Thank you for
Thank
coming up and
you. Thank you.
sharing.
I appreciate
You're
you, all
welcome,
your
darling.
content.
You're
Bye.
welcome. I think a lot of girls needed to hear that because I think a lot of young women or women in general are watching videos on the internet on how to get with a rich man or a wealthy man or a man that is well to do. And you can't just jump in that game. You can't just watch a few of those videos and think you are emotionally ready. Don't think you are ready because he will pull your card very quickly. Very, very quickly, your card will be pulled. And after you are tied up like a pretzel in a very compromising position, Like she said, you will find yourself on a couch eating popcorn. He walking in like, oh no, no, no. You have to study and you have to read a man. You have to study and you have to read a man. And you have to read between the lines. So if he was at the dinner table saying, I want you to be fit, I want you to be focused, I want you to be feminine, I want you to be all the things, because there are men who say that. Then that sounds like to me, when he mentioned the joke about you didn't bathe yet, you still didn't shower, you still in the bed, you were snoring. It was almost an ick for him. It was like, ooh, turn off. So ladies, if you're playing that game, if that's the game you're playing, if that's the game you have to be emotionally equipped.
Hold on, hold on. What's up?
What's up?
I have a question.
These are the same men who would say she's not worth 50K. The same men, no shirt, eating food in the bed, saying what's up, and telling a woman what she don't deserve. That's very unfortunate. That's not how you should represent yourself, sir. That's not how you should represent yourself. And you look like you're, a bit older. And I would have expected better. That's all I'm going to say, sir. This is the internet, and you should want to come up here with some pride.